it's time for your AHA Comets to take the ice.
Alrighty, welcome back, Comet fans. We got pool play game number 2 coming live from the Boeke Ice Arena. Comets finishing up their cheer, heading over to the bench, get the last words of wisdom before the starting line takes the ice. We got Comets in navy, Palmer Pioneers in white. We've seen this matchup several times this year. One of the teams that we played out in Palmer and at some other tournaments. So got a few more players on the bench. Bench isn't quite as light as it was this morning, which will be nice. Looks like we got Dutton, McDade, Pepin, Hollenbach, and Phillips out of the ice. Dutton with the face-off. He's going to draw that one back to Hollenbach. Hollenbach's going to take this behind the Comet net, send it up the boards. McDade will find the puck, get turned around at the blue line, right back into the defensive zone we go. Palmer slides that one around. Winger's going to pick it up, send it towards the net. That'll go wide into the corner, come out of the zone. McDade into the offensive zone for pressure. Pepin comes over for pressure. Puck comes out. Hollenbach with the poke check, gets that to McDade. McDade sending that one. Palmer turns it around. Palmer walking this one towards the center. First shot on net for Palmer. Connor will bat that one over to the wall. Comets break the puck loose of the zone. Out to neutral ice. It comes. Palmer into the defensive zone. We got Gastrock, Wayman, Campen, Heyman, and Peddington out on the ice. Campen's going to bring this one into the zone. Sends it into the corner. Heyman to chase it down. Heyman sends that one up. Puck comes out of the zone. Wayman over to Peddington. Peddington looking for Gastrock. Gastrock deep into the corner. Line change for the defense. Gastrock turn that puck around. Send it into the corner. Campen to bring it over. Campen with the center. Loose puck in front of the net. Can't quite pick up the rebound. Campen with a shot. Goalie with a save. Comets hold the zone. Eamon will scoop that one up, come out to neutral ice. Drops it back to Hollenbach. Hollenbach up to Sillers. That'll get past Sillers' stick. Palmer brings it back, draws it back into the zone. All right, so looks like Comets, too many men on the ice. 9:46 in the first period. Palmer will go on a power play here. Comets trying to do a penalty kill. So 2 minutes on the clock, too many men on the ice for the Comets. Bruce with the face-off. We got Bruce, Hollenbach. Let's see, Bruce, Brody, Sillers, and Hollenbach out on the ice. Sillers towards the goal. That'll be wide. Bruce behind the Palmer net. Draws this one around. Hollenbach will hold the blue line. Palmer is going to send that one out. Sillers back. Hollenbach up the ice to Brody. Brody over to Lynn. Lynn towards the goal. That'll be wide. Get banked around. Palmer on the move, moving this one through center ice. Comets are going to put that one out of the zone, comes all the way back to the offensive zone. Whittle sends it up the ice. Let's see, McDade will tap that one back to the zone. Palmer's going to break this one out. Pennington throws it into the zone, deep behind the Palmer net. 38 seconds remain on the penalty kill for the Comets. Palmer bringing this one in. Connor will bat that one over to the boards. Wayman along the boards for pressure. Beddington sweeps up that centering pass, gets it over to the boards. Palmer walking this one in. Good defense by the Comets, no shot yet. Pressure by Whittle. Wayman will pick up that pass, skate that one out. Comets full strength. McDade is gonna come back to the zone for pressure. All right, Pepin causes the turnover at center ice. Palmer sends it back towards the zone. Comets fight for possession. Palmer brings it into the zone. Hollenbach trapping his guy. Shot by Palmer, that'll go wide to the boards. McDade will pick this one up. McDade drops that off to Pepin. Pepin back to McDade. McDade into the zone. Sends it towards the net. Start crosses the over. Hollenbach into traffic on the boards. Gastroff will come. Palmer breaks that one loose. Heyman will get a stick on that one. Hollenbach will send it all the way across the boards. Heyman will chase that one down behind the Palmer net. We got Gastroff in the corner. Dumps that off to Heyman. Heyman dumps it off to Campin. Campin into traffic on the boards. Heyman will scoop that one up, sends it to Bennett. Bennett towards the goal, that'll go wide. Campin looking for Wayman. Wayman sends it towards the goal. Goalie will get a pat on that one. Heyman to Gastroff. Oh, Gastroff covered. Palmer comes away with that one. Pennington with a nice poke check. Campin gets to the puck first. Palmer sends it into the zone, but that'll catch a player offside. So 5, I don't know, something 4. Can't read the clock because there's too many lights out. A little over 5 minutes remaining in the first period. We got a 0-0 score. Lynn with the face-off. Dillard. And for Whittle. Whittle to Brody. Brody towards the goal. That'll be wide. Lynn will take a swing at it. That will also go wide of the net. Hollenbach. Stillers to Lynn. Lynn drops that one off to Brody. Palmer takes over possession, moves that through center ice. Hollenbach drops that one to Whittle. Whittle is going to leave that one off his stick. Palmer comes into the defensive zone. Brody's going to get this one out. Palmer will send it up the ice. Right back into the zone they go. Hollenbach looking for Whittle. Whittle sends that one up the ice. It's going to be no icing will be waved off there. Dutton first to the puck. Sends it deep into the corner. McDade to Peddington. Peddington towards the goal. Rolls just wide. Kicked off a stiff there. Peddington towards the goal. Goalie will save that one. Peddington back to the corner. Peddington drops that to McDade. McDade sends it. That'll go off a stick. Oh, Pepin takes a swing at it. The stick gets covered. Wayman towards the goal. Pepin. Oh, sorry. Wanting to chase that one down. Wayman drops this to Dutton. Dutton in for pressure. Palmer will take over. Campen gets a skate in there, holds the zone. Stillers to Dutton. Dutton to Campen. Palmer bringing this one into the zone. Breakdown in front of the Comet net there, so 3:01 remains in the first period. Palmer first on the board, so Comet 0, Palmer 1. Gastrock, Heyman, Campen, Hollenbach, Sillers out on the ice. Gastrock with the faceoff. Gastrock over to Heyman. Sillers to Heyman. Heyman deep into the zone. Bennett into the corner. Palmer sends it up the ice. Sillers to Hollenbach. Hollenbach to Heyman. Gastrock back to Hollenbach. All right, Heyman over to Gastrock. Gastrock sends that to the corner. Heyman will get first to the puck. Palmer comes away with it. Sides by Palmer, so 2:06 remains in the first period. Comet 0, Palmer 1. Lynn with the faceoff. We got Colby, Brody, Peddington, and Jeremy out on the ice. Jeremy sends that deep into the zone. Brody in for pressure. Brody causes the turnover. Brody drops it off to Lynn. Lynn towards the net. That'll be wide. Wayman sends that back into the zone. Oh, Lynn with the backhand towards the goal. Goalie will get a pad on that one. Peddington holds the board, sends it into the corner. Brody will chase this one down. Palmer sends it up the boards. Peddington's going to cross over. Palmer sends it into the zone. Offsides by the Palmer Pioneers. We're going to take a face-off at center ice. Dutton, McDade, Pepin, Hollenbach, and Sillers out on the ice. McDade towards the goal. Goalie will get a stick on that one. Sends that to the boards. Dutton will pick that one up. Palmer sends it down the ice. Hollenbach first to the puck. Hollenbach to Dutton. Dutton skates this one out of the zone through center ice. Hollenbach to Stillers. Stillers Tries to drop that one off to Pippin. Pass is a little in front of him, so Palmer send that down the ice. Connor will get a stick on that one, dump it off to Hollenbach. Hollenbach to Heyman. Heyman takes a check into the boards. Palmer comes away with the puck. Palmer sends that one. That's going to go out of play, so Astrock, Heyman, Campen, Sillers, Headington out on the ice. Gastrock with the faceoff. Gastrock towards the goal. Oh! Gastrock towards the goal. Rebound by Campen. Puck comes way up high, goes over the goalie's shoulder, but rolls right in front of the goal line. Palmer's able to clear it. So that's into the first period. Comets will take a knee, get some words from the coach. Score into the first is Palmer 1, Comets 0. Need a goal to get on the board here. I can hear her bell. I can hear her bell. Alrighty, players taking the ice. 12 minutes back on the clock. Period 2 about to get underway here. Alright, looks like we got Campen, Heyman, Gastrock, Headington, and Wayman coming out to start off the second period. Gastrock with the face-off. Gastrock over to Campen. Campen back to Headington. Oh, with a nice steal there. Palmer finally breaks that one out. Oh, nice glove save by Connor Dickey. All right, Whittle, Brody, Hollenbach, Lynn, and Sillers take to the ice. Lynn with the face-off. Brody, Whittle up front, Sillers and Hollenbach back deep. All right, now puck slips behind the Comet net. Comets trying to break it loose. Palmer sends it towards the net. I'll get a stick on that one, send that one over to the board. Sillers up to Whittle. Whittle through the neutral zone, drops it off to Brody. Brody shot that's going to hit the corner post wide of the net. Even with the big shot. Oh. Goalie with the save. Loose puck in front of the net, but Palmer sends a Hollenbach from the blue line. It'll go off several jerseys. Palmer sends it down the ice. That's going to be icing on the Pioneers and come back to the offensive zone for a new faceoff. Dutton, McDade, Pepin, Wayman, and Pennington. Dutton will take this faceoff. Headington towards the goal. Goalie will cover. All right. Let's try that face-off one more time. Dutton with the face-off. Pepin, McDade up front. Pennington and Wayman back deep. Pennington. Wayman will send that one towards the zone. Pepin in for pressure. McDade holds the blue line, sends that one to the corner. Pepin brings that one in. Sends it to Dutton. Dutton to Pennington. Pennington to McDade. McDade towards the goal. Rebound comes out. Pepin tries to get a swing on it. Palmer breaks that one out of the zone. Dutton to chase this one into the offensive zone. Causes the turnover. Deep in the zone. Palmer sends that one up the ice. Sillers that off to McDade. McDade to Campen. Oh, Campen gets a stick on it. But that's going to go off a Palmer's stick coming out of the zone. Sillers to Campen. Dutton brings this one into the zone. Puck slides back to center ice. Sends it up to Heyman. Heyman skates this one into the zone. Heyman, look at this. Finds the front hole, gets one through the goalie's pad. Comets are on the board. So, Alan Heyman with goal number 1 for the Comets. Tie game, 1-1. Stuck with the face-off, we got Campen, Heyman, Hollenbeck, and Sillers out on the ice. To the offensive corner we go. Bennett lays down a check. Campen for Heyman. Palmer sends that one up to center. They're going to come out of the zone, send it. That was out of play, but no whistle. All right, so puck flips out of play. And so we'll get a whistle and a face-off there. Let's see who the Comets send out. We got Pennington, Lynn, Brody, Whittle, and Wayman out on the ice. Palmer comes away with this one. Pennington's going to drive the puck over to the corner. Into traffic. Lynn and Brody trying to shake this one loose. Palmer comes away with it. Palmer sends it towards the goal. Wayman's going to scoop this one out. All right. Palmer going to send that one all the way down. Well, that's going to be icing on the Pioneers. So, offensive zone we go. That'll bring out Fallenbach, Dutton, McDade, Sillers, and Pepin. 7. I don't know. The clock is, the lights on the clock are weird. So we got 7-something remaining in the second period. 1-1 score. It's going to come out of the zone. Sillers sends that one up the ice. Palmer's going to turn that puck around. Hollenbeck. Oh, holds on to the pass a little long. Palmer closes the lane. Palmer centers that one up. Sillers has got the intended covered. All right, Sillers battling against the boards. Dutton to Pepin. Comes out to neutral. Into traffic. Palmer's going to come away with it. Palmer sends it back to their zone, but they control. Palmer into the offensive zone. Quick shot. Connor gets a pad on that one. Dutton will clear that puck out of the zone. Pepin. Nice forecheck. Into the offensive zone. Palmer breaks it out. Connor will cover. All right, so 6:20-ish remain in the period. We got a 1-1 score. We'll have a face-off in the defensive zone. Looks like we got Gastrop, Camp, and Heyman. Peddington and Wayman out on the ice. Campen gets tripped out, but doesn't look like we'll get a call off of that one. All right, Gastrop behind the Comet net. Sends that off to Campen. Campen gets turned around. Palmer into the zone. Nice poke check by Peddington. Sends it to the boards. Aitman trying to break this one out. Palmer sends it back deep into the defensive zone. Peddington will pick this one up. Peddington skates this one out into the zone. Gets turned around right at the blue line. Palmer sends it all the way down the ice. That's going to be icing on the Pioneers. Back to the offensive zone we go. We got Whittle, Lynn, Brody, Hollenbach, and Sillers taking the ice. Hollenbach will take the face off. Lynn towards the goal, tries to center it up. Lynn comes out of the zone, but Lynn holds him right at the blue line into traffic. Brody Sillers on the boards. Brody will come away with it, sends it into the corner. Lynn chases it down. Lynn towards the goal. A little bit of pad on that one. Palmer sends it out. Leo holds the blue line, but Palmer breaks that one out. That one's going to roll all the way down. Icing will be waved off. Hollenbach sends this one up the boards. Jeremy with some speed into the zone, dumps it off into the corner. Looking to center that up. Palmer's there. Needs to hold the blue line. Puck slips out. Peddington behind the Comet net. Brody looking for Whittle. Gotta get past his stick. Palmer's gonna send this one up the ice. Peddington brings that one into the zone, gets turned right at the blue line. Palmer comes away with it. Palmer with the shot. Connor will get a blocker pad on that one. Dutton will send that one up the ice. Palmer defense will pick that one up, sends it up the ice. McDade trying to hold the zone. Puck comes out. Comets clear the zone. McDade over to Dutton. Dutton looking for Pepin. Ooh. All right, so we got a roughing call on the Palmer Pioneer. So 2 minutes go on the board for Palmer. Comets will go on a power play. All right, Gastrock McDade, Heyman, Hollenbach, Stillers. Palmer breaks that one all the way back to the defensive zone. Hollenbach first to the puck. He's going to skate that one off. Drops it off to McDade. McDade circling around. Sends it up. Bennett will get a stick on that one. Goalie bats that one to the side. Sillers from the blue line drops a high puck down to the ice. Puck's gonna clear out of the zone. Hollenbach to McDade. McDade into the zone. Oh, McDade gets turned around. Palmer with the shot. Connor with the save. Hollenbach will pick up the rebound. Hollenbach to Pepin. Pepin into the zone. Pepin circles around, drops it off to Lynn. Lynn fires a shot wide. Wayman comes in from the blue line, holds the corner. Palmer breaks this one out. Headington will swing over. Drops it off to Wayman. Wayman up to Brody. Brody into the zone. That'll go high wide. Lynn circles this one around. Palmer is going to take over, send it out of the zone. Campin into the zone. Palmer full strength. Palmer sends this one up the zone. Nice poke check by Heyman. Campin with a little room. Palmer to the puck first. Eddington tries for the poke check. Palmer sends that one around the ice. It's going to slip all the way out of the zone, down the ice. Heyman will pick this one up behind the Palmer net. Trying to turn direction into pressure. Whittle sends that one over to the other side. Lynn with the shot. Palmer defender will pick that one up. Hollenbach holds the blue line, sends it up to Heyman. Heyman with a nice centering pass to Whittle. Whittle with the shot, that'll go high. Palmer sends it up the ice. Sillers will send it towards the net. Bouncing puck. Goalie will cover. 25 seconds remain in the second period. We got a 1-1 score. All right, Hollenbach, Brody, Gastrock, Sillers, Whittle. Gastrock will take the face-off. All right, Palmer is gonna break this one out of the zone. All the way down to the corner. Centers up the pass. Sillers will get to it. Offsides by Palmer. What's that? Offsides by Palmer, so they'll come out for a face-off. 2.8 seconds in the second period. Hollenbach will take the face-off. That'll run out the clock for the second period. So into the second period, we got a score 1-1. 12 minutes going on the clock for number 3. ice for period number 3. We got McDade, Lynn, Wayman, Eddington, and Hampton on the ice. Colby holds the blue line, sends that one into the corner. Lynn in for pressure. Oh, Lynn trying to center that one up. They'll turn this puck around right at the holding. All right, Pennington back into the corner of the defensive zone. Comets send that one up the ice. McDade for pressure. McDade into the corner. So Kevin will come away with it. Palmer sends it up the ice. Holland back towards the goal. I'll go wide. Stillers on the blue line. Stillers sends it towards the goal. Goalie will get a blocker on that one. Send that one over to the boards. Palmer sends it up the ice. It's going to bounce high and be an icing call on the Palmer Pioneers. So back to the offensive zone we go. Gaiman, Gastrock, Campen, Phillips, Hollenbach take the ice. Gastrock with the faceoff. Palmer behind the net sends that one up. That's going to get past Hollenbach's stick. Sillers is going to cross over first to the puck. Sends it up the ice to Heyman. Heyman trying to work this one into the zone. He gets turned around. Palmer comes away with it. Sends it towards the goal. Loose puck in front of the net. One of the Comet players gets there. Heyman's going to break this one out. Heyman into the zone. Takes a check. Yep, and into pressure. It's going to come away with it. Tries to center that one off. That's going to go off a Palmer player. And we're going to break this one out of the zone. Hollenbach. Nice poke check. Causes the turnover. Flips that one up the ice. It's going to come out of the zone. Palmer will take over. And a line change by Comets. Raymond, Lynn, Brody, Headington, Whittle out on the ice. We got a whistle. Looks like Palmer player will be going to the penalty box. Comets are going on a power play. Number 9 going to the penalty box. We got 2 minutes for hooking. All right, Whittle, Peddington, Raymond, Lynn, Brody out on the ice. Peddington will take the face-off. Colby from the blue line sends it. Get a pat on that one. Palmer sends that one around. Peddington to Wayman. Wayman with the shot. Oh, tipped by Brody. Brody with the backhand. Palmer sends that one down the ice. That's going to be icing on the Pioneers. So back to the offensive zone we go. 1:31 remains on the power play for the Comets. 8:50 or something. 8 something in the period. Dutton with the face-off. Dutton, McDade, Pepin, Hollenbach, Sillers out on the ice. Hollenbach, Pepin. There's the goal. Goalie will get a stick on that one. McDade comes away with a McDade. Sillers holds his own, sends it into the corner. McDade trying to work this one around. Turns it back. Dutton trying to get a stick on that one. Palmer will break this one out. Hollenbach up the ice. All right, Palmer's going to send that one down the ice, but that'll be an icing call on the Pioneers. So Pepin, McDade, Dutton. Not icing. Maybe it was offsides. 54 seconds remain on the power play for the Comets. Dutton with the faceoff. Dutton to Pepin. Pepin to Hollenbach. Hollenbach to McDade. McDade into the zone. McDade trying to work it up the center. Sends it towards the goal. Oh, Pepin tries to get a free spot. Dutton comes away with it. Good pressure by the Comets. Sillers towards the net. That'll go wide. Let's see. McDade picks that one up. Palmer comes away with it. Palmer sends it. Brush that one over to the side. Hollenbach picks up the puck. Sends it up the ice. It's going to be an icing call on the Comets. So we'll come back for a face-off in the defensive zone. That'll bring out Headington, Wayman, Gastrock, and Campin. 2 seconds remain on the penalty for the Pioneers. So quick drop of the puck, and then the power play will be over. 7:29 remains in the period. We got a tie score. Bennett will win that face-off. Send it up to Gastrock. Blocks the shot. Oh, it's rewarded with a big check. All right, Headington holds his own, brings it into the corner. Headington trying to work this one around, sends it back to the corner. Heyman will pick this one up. Heyman trying to work this one around. Drops it off to Headington. Headington to Campin. To go high. Shot by Palmer. That'll go wide high. Heyman trying to pass that one off to Gastrock. Quite enough juice. Palmer will take over. All right, Whittle out on the ice. He's going to get a shin pad on that one. Turn that pass around. Palmer sends it around the boards. Hollenbach up to Brody. All right, Lynn into the zone. Oh, Lynn centers that one up. It's going to come all the way out. Hollenbach. Oh. Palmer towards the goal. Connor will save. Hollenbach up to Brody. Brody towards the goal. That'll go wide. Palmer sends it up the ice. Hollenbach to Brody. Brody into the zone. All right. Offsides by the Comets. So that'll bring out McDade, Pepin, Dutton, Hollenbach, Sillers. right, big pressure by McDade. Turns the puck towards the offensive zone. Stepping in for pressure. Sends that one up the ice. Uh-oh. All right. Comets break that one loose. Into the offensive zone. Oh. A stick by Pepin. It's like we're going back to the defensive zone for a face-off. All right, Castro, Campbell, Brody, Waden, Pennington out. I know. That's Lynn. All right, let's see. Waden on the loose into the zone. Campbell will take over. Castro up to Campbell. Nice. Palmer, second goal. That one, it's takes a hop off of Connor's skate, finds the corner of the net. All right, so 409 remaining in this game. Palmer goes up by one. Dutton, McDade, Whittle, Stillers, and Hollenbach out on the ice. Okay, McDade trying to hold the zone. All right, Dutton turns this one up through the center. Palmer turns him around. Hollenbach. Looking for McDade. Dutton ships that one forward, looking for Whittle. It's 3:05 remaining in regulation here. Comets need a goal to tie. All right. McDade causes the turnover, sends it out to center ice. Oliver goes into the zone, but they're going to get an offsides call. Go. Bastrop. Tampa. Pepin. Wayman. And Pennington out on the ice. Oh, good shot. That one back to Pennington. Pennington towards the net. Goalie will get a pad on that one, send it out of play into the net. So, face off by Gastrock again. Into pressure. Offsides by the Pioneers. Just under 2.5 minutes left to play in the game. Comets need a goal to tie. Wayman, McDade. Headington out on the ice. Dutton over to McDade. McDade needs to make a move. Bruce into the zone. Bruce with the shot. That'll be wide. The puck comes out of the zone. Headington over to Wayman. Down to the 2-minute mark. Comets still looking for a goal to tie this game up. To the Comet corner we go. Headington sends that one up the ice. Palmer sends it all the way from the red line. Connor will get a stick on that one, send it over to the goal. All right, McDade into the zone. All right, Palmer's going to break that one loose. Hollenbach over to Whittle. Whittle into the corner. We got 1 minute remaining in regulation. Hollenbach takes the goal. Earlier save. Comets have pulled the goal, got an extra skater. Hollenbach over to Dutton. Dutton towards the goal. In front of the net. Hollenbach will hold the blue line. Sends it towards the net. Oh. Yeah. Puck slips out of the blue line, so 26 seconds remaining. We'll have a face-off in the offensive zone. Comets have pulled the goalie, so they got an extra skater out there. McDade, Dutton, Lynn, Hollenbach, Headington out on the ice. Dutton will take the face-off. Gastrock will take the ice. 84 seconds. And Hollenbach. Oh. It'll be wide, 10 seconds. Palmer sends it. Palmer sends it down the ice. 2.2 seconds remain on the clock. Icing on the Palmer Pioneers. So we'll get one more face-off here. Quick face-off shot. Let's lead 1-5. So Dutton. All right, there's the buzzer for the game. So Palmer will come away with the win on this one. So first day of pool play. Comets a win this morning and a loss this afternoon. So that'll give them 2 points coming out of day one for the pool play. We will be back early for an early 8 a.m. game tomorrow morning, I think against Healy. And that should round off pool play for this tournament. And then we'll come back to you with the rest of the brackets after pool play shakes out. So thanks for tuning in, and we will see you back here Saturday morning.